It's not just something you made. It's the privilege that you get to work with your hands. It's building something that serves a purpose. Proof that you have the grit to keep going. At Timberland, we understand you take your craft seriously, and we do too, which is why our products are built to the highest quality. We put in the work so you can perfect yours, with purpose in every detail and crafted with intention. Timberland, built on craft. Visit Timberland.com to shop.
Refreshing Wild Cherry Cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
Your sports team is vastly inferior. That simple fact is plainly obvious to see.
Matt, we are back with even more of the mandatory fun that we're supposed to be having over here on our podcast. And there's nothing more mandatory fun than watching a sporting event. So we brought in one of Philly's biggest overall sports fans. Kelly Phillips is here.
Go Birds! Go Birds!
I was going to say,
Birds.
People don't normally get to see the videos, but she is both repping Phillies and Eagles simultaneously in her setup. It's very impressive.
It's exactly the sort of sporty setup we need for guys. I don't know anything about sports. Just almost nothing.
I also uncovered
almost
that
nothing.
I have this perfectly appropriate Phillies cup for a Weird Al situation.
And you know what? I didn't even notice until there's
impressive.
three Phillies representations and a singular Eagles representation.
I mean,
so I think we know where the fandom is stronger.
Yeah, we can keep adding to the representation.
You know, I don't think it's possible. I truly don't think it's possible to have grown up in or around Philadelphia, and even like as not a sports person as I am, it's hard not to ride or die for some of our mascots because we have some of the greatest in the world.
Oh,
so it's
we have the greatest mascots in the world. I think we're the 1 and 2 slot, and everyone else is just chasing us.
That's true. I mean, we do have Gritty and the Philly Fanatic.
Yes.
It's pretty hard to top either one. I think that those are, in the grand scheme of sports mascots, there's only a handful that permeate pop culture in a way that non-sports viewers are aware of those mascots, and
Absolutely.
We have 2 of them.
And to have your sports mascot also imitated by other countries' teams, I've seen rip-off Fanatic mascots. So he's unbeatable.
It is true. As a non-sports person, I will attest that the Philly Fanatic is bigger than sports.
Yes.
The Fanatic is bigger
There's
than
no
sports.
reason why I should know what that is, and I do. I totally do.
Gritty is the ethos of Philadelphia.
Yeah, he has become Philly embodied. I also want to give a shout out to one specific team in this general area.
Ooh.
That has not 1, not 2, but 3 mascots. And each mascot is more insane than the previous. I think I've talked about this on this show before, but just in case I haven't. The Wilmington Blue Rocks.
Yes.
Who have the least important one is Rocky Bluewinkle, who is the moose that walks around in costume. There's Rubble, that is a pile of rocks in the corner of the stadium.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And the almost beneath Gritty, probably taking the 3 slot, Mr. Celery. Mr. Celery, who runs the bases every time the Blue Rocks win a single point in a game. Blur Song 2 starts to blast in the speakers, and a man in a celery costume comes bursting out of the dugout and doing a lap. And you know what? I love it.
Not enough can be said about how important minor league baseball teams are to cultural whimsy. So much can happen there and is allowed to happen there because no one's paying attention.
No one's paying attention. These are the places we need to all flock to, where we're just it's no regulation. Everyone's just going wild. You know, Matt, I think you have mentioned something about that on this show before, because as you were retelling that story, I was feeling both a familiar sense of confusion and kind of worry Like the mascot, that's a pile of rocks. That's a lot for me. I don't really know.
There's something about the Mid-Atlantic region where we, check in on us every now and then.
Yeah,
we're manifesting rubble.
It's a good reminder. We're all going to make sure you guys are okay.
It's delightful. It's delightful living here. It is always sunny in some sort of way here in the Philadelphia. Even
there
if
you
it's
go.
not, even if it's not the seasonal sun, we're always doing all right.
That's why I'm manifesting playoff baseball behind me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we got a fuck you, we don't care attitude about most things.
Literally.
That's kind of we're good. That's our chance now. Anyway, this song, sports song, actually does tie to a kind of important cultural thing that happens once a year in sports. Al wrote this song when he found that fans yearly petition for him to be the Super Bowl halftime performer.
Yes.
And he thought, how is that possible? I don't even have a sports-themed song in my 40-year catalog. And he got to work, and he made it happen.
I think is an amazing line of logic, because I would be hard-pressed to name any halftime performer who has a sports-themed song. So pop off.
It is, you got to give it up for Al. Like, of course, Al would be like, oh, my fans want me to do a halftime show thing. Well, I should write a song for it. So he writes a song that would have been performed at the halftime show in 1953.
Yeah,
it seems
I was gonna say, he wrote a song that if they did offer him the halftime slot, he would definitively not put in the set list.
Can you imagine? Because
you have to kick it off with this, right?
What a perfect prank for him to play on the world. Like Weird Al is getting to do the halftime show finally, and he just shows up and does this. The end. Like,
I will say the NBA All-Star game just happened, and they did have John Tesh come perform the basketball theme song.
Oh, I saw that he showed up and did a live. Oh God, is it called like Round Ball Rock or something like that? It has
He performed it live, and I truly gasped audibly when I saw that it had happened.
That does make you appreciate. It's not easy to write a sports anthem. Like John Tesh did it. You got to give it up, man. That is a perfect little piece of instrumental music for sports. I don't know.
You hear that one pop and basketball is happening.
Basketball is happening, and I don't.
There's like the accidental ones. There's that Alan Parsons Project song that like I just associate with sports all the time now.
I'm obsessed with when a new song makes it into a sports stadium. Like Chapel Roan has had like an absolute intravenous entry into arenas and stadiums. Yep. I think it's fascinating to think about what is the criteria and what is that like little cultural
Which song?
touch
Hot
point.
to Go?
Both Hot to Go. I've heard Pink Pony Club.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of Hot to Go, I think, is going to become a sports staple.
I think it is because it
as is every
thematically works
K-pop
enough,
Demon
and it's got
song.
the hand gesture thing. It's a YMCA like dance move.
Oh,
that
like
people love.
7-year-olds love being caught on the jumbotron doing Hot to Go bit.
Yeah,
listen,
I don't blame him.
Gary Glitter was allowed to be in the public conscience way longer than he should have because he wrote an undeniable jock jam.
Another example,
70s.
Right? But we're moving on. We're moving on from Gary. We have to.
But never from jock jams. We are all people of a certain age.
No, that's fine.
Who
I'm
not
formed
by jock jams.
You're not going to hear me say anything bad about jock jams. I'm not
Let
allowed.
me hear.
I have all of them. So I had this. I go to UCD stores still and buy UCDs probably 2 or 3 times a year. And like 2 or 3 years ago, my goal was I want all the Jock Jam CDs, which was very easy to achieve. They're like in the dollar bin at every used CD store that you go to. After I achieved that, my new goal now has been 2 different compilations, one that's very local based and one that is across the planet. I'm trying to get all of the Y100 Sonic Sessions compilations,
that's
for a music
Philadelphia
nerd,
lore.
I was going to say, you nod it there, Matt. Are you familiar with the infamous Sonic Sessions?
I've heard only by name. Only by name. I don't really know what they are.
So basically, Y100 had access to this little like recording studio / live venue situation. Okay. So when local bands, when big name bands would come in, like let's say in 1995, Live is playing in Philadelphia, they would do like a 4-song acoustic set in this small studio for like an attendance of like 100 loyal Philly fans that would get to see this like very cool intimate thing. But they kept all the recordings. So for like 15 years, every year they would just put out this compilation of like 20 of these once in a lifetime live acoustic performances from this small studio, almost like their version of MTV Unplugged. But one of them has the last ever performance from INXS. Like,
wow.
INXS came in and did this Sonic session after a Philly date, and he died like a week later.
Oh, that's crazy.
Jeez.
So that's on one of the they're like we're talking like Ben Folds 5, and they're doing Kate like just on the piano without the band. And it's just like a lot of really cool things. The other one that I've been obsessively buying is the MTV Party to Go volumes, which was when they were doing the show The Grind. They would put out these albums where the whole thing was like the 10 top dance songs of that year, but mixed in a way that it sounded like one consistent 90 hour long
pretty shortcut to your DJ career kicking off.
Oh, yeah. It was so. Oh, yeah. I just popped those in. But but anytime that I find myself on like a long, this has happened more than once, on a long road trip. Usually I'm driving like a church van of luggage with one co-pilot. And these like cheap U-Haul vans don't have
like aux,
a Bluetooth or anything. And aux is I will just bring a binder of Jock Jams and Party to Go CDs and just make my poor co-pilot have to listen to these nostalgic.
That is driver's privilege. You get to choose the soundtrack.
It's absolutely driver's privilege. But
say
Matt
it
Kelly.
to the kids every time. The driver is the DJ. That is the rules.
I will say, if I got into a car and it was an hour plus drive and somebody put Jock Jams in, I think my heart rate would go to a 120 and stay there.
I'm imagining
so amped.
I would be like, the reality would set in very quickly though. I'm just imagining myself like the year is 2026. I'm in a U-Haul driving equipment. This has got to be a long drive. And someone just shows up with...
We're looking at 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days drive, and someone just shows up with binders of nothing but Jock Jams. They'd be like...
And they're like, no, not even the one you know. It's Jock Jams Volume 5.
Volume 5. I'd be like, I must be on a prank show right now. Like, this cannot be a real thing happening to me.
There is a distinct point in the Jock Jams where they ran out of modern songs, and they're basically just disco compilations.
Which actually, that's a parabola where it's gotten, like, better than the original Jock Jams.
Yes. Exactly.
I would just listen to disco music at sports games.
So
absolutely.
So Kelly, I was kind of shocked that this was like your top pick for this. Yeah. You would like not only did you send me like 5 songs you wanted to do, but this was the one that was in all caps with multiple asterisk marks next to indicating
I believe it.
This is the one. Which is, I want to know what your response is to this one review that I saw. AV Club specifically. When they reviewed Mandatory Fun, referred to Sports Song as a passable but not particularly inspired take on a rabid fan base.
Yeah, to which I have to say, we're great and you suck. It's okay.
This is why
to be
we
wrong.
keep bringing you back, Kelly.
I also just love Matt Kelly giving you like respond to this quote. This is a whole new like guest angle for us. I love and Kelly, what are your thoughts on this quote?
Yeah,
it's your hot take.
Defend yourself against AV Club.
You think you know better than the AV Club?
The dementia of the Philadelphia sports fan. I'm here to have a fight. Let's get into an argument.
Good. That's perfect.
I do want to talk a little bit about the music video before we start diving into the lyrics, because I don't know if I agree with passable but not particularly inspired to describe the song, but I feel like that could describe the music video, which is like, on one hand, of this whole block of music videos that we got to promote this album, this one has an impressive amount of extras, and it is shot amazingly, and they have so little to do with the premise once just Al is leading a marching band is established. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this is just it. This is Al marching, and occasionally we'll get a gag or two from the fans.
Yeah.
But it's very on the nose.
It does what it says on the tin, right? As they say, this is exactly what more could we want from this. There was no other narrative. This isn't the foil video. This is
we're sitting in the stands, and the band has come out.
And the people in the crowd, you got to give it up. The people in the stands are enjoying this a lot. Most of the time, this part of the sports event, my understanding anyway, is this is tolerated at best.
Yeah.
It's not like people are not celebrating so much. These people seem really into it.
They do seem into it.
Yeah.
I will say there are some good jokes. There is a classic Al, I would call it a classic Al visual gag, where there's two guys in the crowd that go and cheers their glasses of beer and it just shatters and splashes everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, we've been seeing that since '83 in Al videos where
it's like a very Naked Gun-esque
yes.
gag.
But that,
I do think the crowd card flipping between great
that
and
is
suck
impressive.
is actually
Really good.
like masterful, because it's only a
Agreed.
few cards difference between greatness and sucking, which could also be a metaphor for Philadelphia sports.
That is true. That was the other thing I called out, was like that sign flip from great to suck is like very impressive to look at.
That took some planning. That took some expertise. Somebody saw the vision.
Yeah. And maybe it is coming off of doing the handy video and then the lame claim to fame video and then the foil video. Like, I think I was like reminded how much I liked all three of those videos, so that I sat down this afternoon to watch the sports song video, and I was just like, oh, that's it.
And I do think like I also dug up some old opinions about this song in that week that all the videos were coming out. And I do think this was kind of a common opinion, that this one was like, okay, based on what had already come out. But it's, again, like when you're building a good playlist, you can't have all bangers. You can't have all
100%.
jock jams. You got to have ebbs and flows. And I think this one does exactly as Milligan says. It does what's on the tin. It does exactly what it sets out to do. And does it need to do more, would be my question back to people.
That's fair. I cannot believe, and we'll find out how this goes next week, but I cannot believe that I watched this video and thought, am I really going to put the lyric video for Word Crimes above the sports song music video? Because I think that there's more jokes in the Word Crimes music video than there are in this one.
Oh, I think probably, yes. I mean, I haven't revisited that one yet, but yeah, probably, just because of the nature of that. That's also just the lyrics of that song have so many references to different things that they were able to add. Yeah, I mean, most of his records have like a song or two like this, right? Where this is like, I mean, this is a style parody. Objectively, it's a style parody, but it's almost like a genre parody. Because it's not a particular, I guess it's like a John Phillips Sousa march is really what we're trying to go for. But
more or less.
It's bigger than just him doing a single artist. Like, this is him doing a weird like flex of how I can write a bizarre, like a novelty track concept. I don't even know how to describe what this is.
Yeah. This actually reminds me of, if we were to compare it to any of his songs, it feels the most like Harvey the Wonder Hamster.
Yes, very
Like
much.
Harvey the Wonder
marching
Hamster.
band pieces.
Or the other one I kept thinking of is Weasel Stomping Day, which has a slightly different tone and vibe to it, but feels like it hits a similar spot in terms of the old-timey instrumentation and very like orchestrated. It's like a big production of a small thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Something like
Which
that.
I think is part of the joke. It's like, we're going to go to these great lengths to just do this very simple premise.
Exactly.
Well, because I think that this whole thing, what kind of sells it for you is the last line of the third verse, where he says, okay, full disclosure, we're not that great. That is where, and this is like, it's rare that I think Al makes us wait that long for the full punchline of it, because at first it's just like, okay, this is just like an over the top like sports team. Like, I'm thinking like a collegiate sports anthem, right? You're there, you're in Penn State, you're at main campus cheering on the Nittany Lions or whatever, and this is the fight song that you're singing in the
Yes, it's very much a
stadium.
collegiate song.
Yeah. But then like you also, in the lyrics, you can't help but admit, like, you probably are still going to win this game, but nevertheless, we still think that you guys suck because you're the opposing team.
To continue to bring this back to Philadelphia sports, specifically the only sports that matter, I think we have a very unique quality in our fan base where we are the biggest haters of our own team as well as the biggest supporters. So I think this is a very relatable sentiment for me, specifically coming into this, that we're going to be like, don't you ever say anything about our Phils, but we'll tell them how much they suck.
Well, I also, I think that bleeds into also if you grew up in Philly but are a fan of another team. So like Barb is a diehard Patriots fan. That has been her go-to.
No.
I know. No. Diehard Patriots fan. So watching the recent Super Bowl with her, there was a legitimate point. I think it was right before halftime. She just out of nowhere yells, "I cannot believe you get paid this much money to not know how to play this game." It's like, yeah, that's a Philly fan just applying Philly fan logic to whatever team they're in support of.
Yes, and if it turns somebody against the Patriots, I mean, we've done a good deed in this world.
She's gonna hate listening to this episode. She liked you so much up until this moment.
Oh
Kelly.
boy, it's
we'll
over
have
now.
to talk about 2018 sometime.
But I do think he brought in the River City College Marching Tigers band for this video. And like that part is like, as I was watching, I'm like, could you imagine being in the college marching band and you get tasked of like, hey, guess what? You're going to be in a Weird Al music video. Like I'm sitting there watching, like there's one or two shots where you just see like the girls on the color guard.
Yep.
And I'm like, you know that if they're in the marching band, they're a Weird Al fan. Like that is like the prime crowd.
Yeah.
That had to have been
having been
like
a part of concert band in high school, not marching band, I noped out of that real fast. But knowing all the marching band kids, yeah, they're all dorks.
Yeah,
Lovingly,
so,
they're all dorks.
like this had to have been like one of the most exciting like sit downs that you've had in your entire college career when your coach or band leader or whoever's just like, hey, guess what?
Yeah. I
This
even
is
noticed one of
Funny
the
or Die is going to make it. And you're
high production value nerd stuff is coming your way.
Yeah. And this is like peak Funny or Die as a college humor site too, right?
Absolutely.
So it's just like all of the things that you couldn't possibly imagine happening to you when you're 20 years old are all happening at once.
And if you look really closely, there's a part of the video where you can see, I think it's one of the snare drummers. He's like mouthing the lyrics to the song. So I'm like, there's no way in which you heard this song before like yesterday and you've already memorized it. That's how much you loved it.
Well, because I also imagine, I'm going to ask you a very weird question, Kelly, and I'm assuming I know the answer
Bring
to this.
it on.
But have you ever been involved in the shooting of a music video before?
No.
Okay. I've helped on 2 or 3. And I can tell you that at some point halfway through that music video shooting, not only do you now know every single word of that song through the playback of the band having to mime playing the song, but you also partially never want to hear that song again for the rest of your life.
Having performed again in a concert band, I had to play songs ad nauseum and just like, if I ever hear that song in the wild, I feel a twinge.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, listen, I think my parents still have flashbacks to me practicing Let's Go Band on the alto sax in 4th grade.
We all should have brought out our band instruments for that.
I have not played my alto sax since 6th grade when a band
my
teacher told me
flute
maybe
is
it wasn't in the
rotting
cards
in
for
my
me.
basement.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And they took the trumpet away from me. They would not even let me keep it. That's long gone.
But you know what? Thankfully, they placed a bass in your hands, and you've really
eventually it worked
made
out.
that thing work.
But the first thing I got handed was a trumpet, and boy, I was so bad at
Graduated
it.
to cool guy band.
I eventually did, but I might have even said this before. Like I played trumpet in 4th grade. No, 5th grade is when they like let you like actually play something. I think, and I played it for 1 year, and I struggled a lot. And I remember very distinctly at the end of that first year, the band teacher going up to me and just saying like, "It's okay if you don't want to keep doing this."
Yeah.
And I remember even at that age, I was like, I know what that means.
All right, so I feel like there's no way I've shared this story, but it's tied to sports and it's tied to that level of sadness.
Great, there we go.
When I was a freshman in high school, my dad really wanted me to do more sports than I had shown an interest in throughout all of middle school. After an elementary school career of being signed up for things I wasn't interested in and being forced to play seasons of like basketball and baseball. So I was like, well, my parents have a pool. I'll try out for the swimming team. I can get by on swim team. I could not. But so throughout the like 2 months of training before our first competition, I would see this thing happen regularly where a person on the team would verbalize that they were probably going to quit the team, and they would say something to the coach, and the coach would wave them into his office, and they would talk for like 5-10 minutes, and 9 times out of 10 that person left that room and they were still on the team. They had worked out some compromise. So we do our first match, and for those of you who don't know the rules of swim, if you touch the ropes, instant disqualification. I was in 2 matches, both circumstances, dove in, lost my goggles, panicked, and grabbed both ropes on both sides to figure out where the hell I was. So the next day I was like, I have to quit this team. So I walk up to the coach and I'm like mentally preparing for like, you got to stand your ground. He's going to try to convince you to stay, but like, this is the best for everybody. And I said, Mr. Campbell, I think I'm going to quit the swim team. And he just said, well, you tried the best you could. And then he just turned around.
See, there you go. It's very, very similar.
And now my sister is his hairstylist. And she asked, I've told this story for like 2 decades. She asked him about it. He goes, that's exactly how I remember that happening. Actually, like it's like, okay, that wasn't 9th grade, like false memory.
Even he was like, yeah, my life will be a lot easier if you give this up.
He's like, oh, thank God.
Legally, I have to put you in matches if you're on this team.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. My husband was also in swim in high school, and he was telling me recently that there were some people on his team, which he went to a very small high school in South Jersey. And there were some people that were joining the team just to like get the college application points for it. But they had absolutely no skills in swimming. And they would get stuck with these people in relays. And the problem is that my husband would always be the anchor. So when you have 1 or 2 people in front of you who cannot swim competitively, dragging your whole relay squad down, my husband would always be stuck being the lone final swimmer in the pool, finishing off the leg of the race.
Yeah, that's not fun.
You spared your peers being that person.
I like to think so. In retrospect, and I've said this a couple times in my life, if I was forced to do high school all over again in some nightmare scenario, I realize this around my 30s. I probably honestly knew this in my heart while I was in high school. I thought that swim would be where all the dorks were. It's the track team. If you're like a nerdy person who wants to join the sport where other nerdy people are, the track team was like all of the people who were up for valedictorian. They were all the weird people. They just knew how to run, and they ended up being the people I became friends with senior year. And I remember thinking, man, if I had just signed up for track instead of swimming, I would have met these people 4 years earlier, and my life would have been so much easier.
Yeah, but then you have to run track.
I was going to say, running is literally the worst activity. Yeah.
But you know what? For me, like doing the mile, never was a fan.
That was
but if in track it's just sprinting like a quarter of a mile, I can sprint a quarter of a mile. I still could probably sprint a quarter of a mile.
Yeah. We get it. You can run.
Wow, your joints don't hurt.
These days. Yeah, listen, it's not great. But
no, if I think back to school memories and experiences, the days where it was like, today is the day where we all have to leave in phys ed and go outside and run a mile on the track. Like every time that happened, it was the worst day of my life.
Yeah,
it was
our
so,
school was
so
pretty good.
awful.
I have talked on this podcast before about my ankle injury that I got when I was 13, but I used it
did you get out?
for the duration of high school to get out of my least favorite
that's
gym
the
classes.
way. That's
I'd
how
be
you
like,
got to
oh
do
no,
it.
it's acting up again, and my gym teachers absolutely despised me for it.
Ours were pretty good about the fact that so long as we were in motion, they could not care less. So
we had gym teachers whose entire self-worth was wrapped up in what 16-year-olds were doing that day.
We would I had a crew of friends where you would just do our 4 laps around the track at a leisurely pace. And listen, I think at our school, the goal was do the mile in 15 minutes. You can do a mile in 15 minutes at a leisurely pace. It is not that hard.
I don't know.
So like,
I remember jogging and really sincerely like trying to do it and having the teacher yell at me like, if you don't show me some effort, you're not gonna. I'm like, this is me trying.
This
I
is
promise.
maximum effort.
I am real. Do you see how much
more.
I'm sweating and I can't even talk to you right now.
that's the worst part is like the dry mouth and the like your throat just feeling like there is sand in it from pushing yourself. All right.
Yes.
So we've gone on.
This is why now shout out to my 11th grade gym teacher. I signed up for this quote unquote aerobics class where it was just this. She must have been like 26 years old and didn't give one flying fuck. She would just have us sleep on mats some classes and it was glorious.
See,
Best gym class of my life.
That's what I needed.
So,
that's what I needed.
All right, last thing about high school gym classes, and then we'll dive into the lyrics.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm giving them shout out. Sun Valley High School, Aston, Pennsylvania, right here in Delaware County.
Delco.
Our school had a full semester of gym that was for 9th and 11th graders. That was square dancing. Square dancing was one of our gym courses.
Yes. This is a Pennsylvania thing.
This is a Pennsylvania thing. And then the 10th and 12th grade, the opposite thing was Tybo and Jane Fonda workout tapes.
Billy Blanks all day long.
You guys are you're really hard selling Philly in this episode. I gotta tell you, like I'm almost converted. I'm gonna go on Zillow as soon as we're done here. And
do you want to go to a Pennsylvania high school right now?
I feel like a little bit if I had the opportunity to go back and do it over. I might
you
have a
too
better
can
time.
learn the difference
Billy Madison style. Yeah, it'll be great.
Billy Madison style.
If you really want to learn the difference between square dancing and country line dancing, that is what a southeastern Pennsylvania high school education will give you.
Who could have guessed? That is a true reveal to me that was happening so close to home.
Wait, did you guys have a problematic high school mascot?
No, we just had a griffin. So that was great.
We did.
A lion. You had yeah?
What was your mascot?
So my high school was 10th to 12th grade at the time, and when I joined in 10th grade, our mascot was a caricature Native American because we were the Souderton Big Red.
Sure.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
like, well, not in name nor in visage are we doing anything good here. That same year, our principal got fired, and I'm pretty sure it had something to do with that mascot. But then they thought, let's get away from this. We learned this is bad in way too late of a year for us to be learning that that's bad. And the next year they debuted a guy in just like, the Green Man from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, just a red version of that with a cape.
Okay.
And we were still
that's something.
Souderton Big Red.
Yeah, the name is still an issue.
But it was just a guy in a cape. And I don't know if that made it any better.
No, I don't think. In some ways,
it's like I don't think they got away from the real problem.
I mean, they put a little effort in, so I guess you give them credit. They were aware that it was a problem a little bit.
We used to do a thing. So, like, our homecoming game was always against the same school, which was Upper Chi, the Chichester team or whatever. So for homecoming, there was always the Mr. and Mrs. Chai competition, which was basically just the most mean-spirited drag show imaginable.
Wait, that's redundant, but go on.
Yeah, like it was just like we're dressing up like the kids that go to that school, and those kids are so ugly that the guys dress like the girls, and the girls dress like the guys. And I remember that it was interesting. Our year was the year that my senior year was the year that it was decided we were no longer going to do it. Definitely one student decided that the pigment of their skin wasn't the right color and made some changes to that, which was not great. And then the other one that I remember being ungodly offensive at the time was the guy dressed like Michael Jackson with the mask and everything, and then he was walking with a leash, and the girl was dressed like a little child with a beanie cap and a lollipop. And that was around the moment when they said, you know what, maybe giving 17-year-olds the ability to do whatever they want in a school assembly against the rival team is not the smartest move we've ever considered.
Yeah. There's something about sports that just makes you
It does make people crazy. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Brings
And thank you for
the
that.
worst instincts out of people.
Thank you for that, Matt Kelly. That has rebalanced the Philly conversation a little bit. Now I feel like I have a clearer, more nuanced picture.
Oh no, it's like literally your cognitive ability turns off.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing how that happens. Yeah.
There is actually, to get really nerdy about this, there's an episode of Hidden Brain, which is like a psychology podcast, I think run by NPR, where they went into what is the unique mob psychology of sports. And this woman had experienced it firsthand, where she was in the stands and wasn't really a fan of one team or the other, but was situated with one team. And she was like, by the end of the game, I was part of a crowd of people yelling at somebody from like a fan of the other team. And she was like, what just happened to me? So it goes all into what exactly happens in your brain when you're in that situation.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's something in us, I think, that's wired to like become part of the big group and then do this thing together as a unit. And
then you're beating up Vikings fans in the parking lot.
Yeah. And at its most simple, it is, again, exactly what Al says in this song. The "We're great, you suck" is at its core. That is the whole thing.
That is the id and the ego.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Nothing brings people together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, people aren't just watching, they're cheering together. This winter, everyone is all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
Gary the Snake.
And your last name?
The Snake.
Dream Team. Get new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home. Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG. And right now you can get Disney+ and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 3 months with a special limited time offer. Ends March 24th. After 3 months, plan auto-renews at $12.99 a month. Terms apply.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see 2 people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
So let's dive into these lyrics. I do think that this song is kind of lyrically, it is the perfect lead-in to next week's episode of Word Crimes. Because this is a hilariously highbrow lyrical breakdown of a fight song.
Yes, I like the fact that you described the collegiate team side of it earlier, because it does lean into that a little bit. This is this is literally a Harvard Lampoon level joke. That's exactly that. Yeah.
It's like we are going to write a dumb college sports anthem that uses like the most SAT words that we can possibly cram into this chant
And I
song.
did learn that this was in some way inspired by the Tom Lehrer fight song that he wrote specifically for Harvard.
Yes, that
which
makes
is again
sense
like
too.
a very gentlemanly version of a sports song.
Exactly.
Where he's like, what if there was no violence? What if we all just got tea at the end?
I actually just recently rewatched The Social Network, and it's funny because that's again a Harvard thing, and they keep bringing that point up in Harvard when they're talking about suing each other. They're like, we're gentlemen of Harvard. That's not what we're supposed to do. And this song makes me think that as well. We're going to be gentlemanly about this song. I love that angle.
But
I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the music genre. I think there's like 3 bands in this genre, but chap hop, which is guys writing battle rap verses, but as perfect gentlemen with songs like "Hand Me My Fighting Trousers." Where they like,
I am not Matt. What are you talking about? Did you just say Chad hop?
chap,
Chap.
CHAP.
Thank God. I thought you said Chad. CHAD. I was very upset about that.
I was like, we just only have Giga Chads rap battle?
Chap
I can't handle
Hop,
that.
Professor Elemental and his song "Fighting Trousers." Go check it out.
Chap. Oh boy.
You know what? I settle more debate with rap battle.
Yeah.
So your sports team our sports team is vastly
your sports
that's right. Your sports team is vastly inferior. That simple fact is plainly obvious to see. We're going to kick your collective posterior. Of course, you realize we're speaking figuratively.
Yes.
Already
Delivery
off to
of figuratively in that cadence in that passage. Just that little pause. It made me go tee hee hee.
Agreed.
Our stats are thoroughly impressive. Our coach really has the Midas touch. Our players are fast and strong and brave. And you guys, not so much.
I actually said it on this was in Handy. He does that similar thing. Al has the ability to throw in those little like vocal inflections and stuff. And in that one, he was imitating an Iggy Azalea one, but in this, just his.
And it catches you off guard because then you're like, oh, okay,
exactly.
we're in this pomp and circumstance kind of moment, and then you're like, oh,
It's
okay, we're
really
getting out
rattling.
of the dictionary and we're actually getting
Exactly.
into some shit talk.
Yes.
In fact, we've played teams across the nation, and you're the worst one we've come across. Try to assimilate that information, and it might just help you cope with your impending loss.
Great
It's
line.
like sick burn.
Let's cut to that meme of like the kids in the rap battle, just like, oh, and if somehow we are still failing to effectively articulate that the points at hand, allow us to summarize them in a manner that your feeble brains can understand.
Yep.
And then we get our chorus. We're great and you suck. We're great and you suck. We're great and you suck. You see, there's us. We're great. And then there's you. You suck.
You suck.
We're really, really great. Real great. In contrast, you really suck. Really suck. Okay, full disclosure, we're not that great, but nevertheless, you suck.
See,
Then we
I don't
get
know
a
how
drum
you don't
solo.
get through that chorus and not think that it's elite.
I've always been struck by, like, he gets to that point, and it feels like that could have just been the end of the song right there.
That
the way
really
he does the
does-
build up, the nevertheless you suck, and then we get like a full marching, like, drum breakdown thing happens. I'm really glad he extended it, because it feels like it could have been a minute and change, this little, like, more of an intro. It's still short, but it definitely seems like it could have been shorter.
But then we get, I think, one of the even more, like, this is the most heady of all of the verses. So I'm glad that he gave us that drum break to prepare for this.
Yes.
Your sports team will soon suffer swift defeat. That theory's backed by the empirical evidence. We're going to grind you up into burger meat. Again, of course, we're speaking in the figurative sense. What's the use of even going through the motions when you know that you're going to lose anyhow? So why don't you save us all some time and give up now? You suck.
You suck. I mean, in terms of Al showing off his lyric writing, he rhyming empirical evidence with figurative sense.
top tier.
I mean, that's
Yes, not the first one you see in the rhyming dictionary.
No, it is certainly not. It's certainly not. And you're right, Matt Kelly. That was a really good. I would have not put together that the next song we have is Word Crimes after this, but it is a funny.
It is kind of a beautiful segue.
It is, yeah. Because he is really, again, it's the character of this song, but it's also Al just showing off his ability to write at this level. Like it's very
Al's
satisfying.
So braggadocious all the time.
He is,
right?
He is.
Gosh, control
He's a smart
yourself,
guy.
sir.
Well, Matt, we've spent a lot of time talking about high school experiences, but I want to talk about where we want to ultimately rank sports songs.
I do too, but first I need to talk about one more thing.
Of course. That's why I set you up for this.
So you guys are sports people. Why in marching bands, why did they wear the chin straps under their lip?
Number one, I love that you assume that marching band people know anything about sports. And
That's fair. That's fair. I should not have assumed that. But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it is. It looks dumb.
There's
There's no way in which it looks practical. That thing's
hard
gotta
to
be coming up off your face all the time.
Yeah, and they always do it. And I just watching this video and I noticed that Al is singing this song with a chin strap underneath his lower lip. And I just kept watching him sing this song. Like, that can't be an easy way to sing a song with this
I
thing
do not
here.
have any firsthand experience wearing such a hat. I attended one day of band camp in my whole high school career, and they locked me in a closet to learn the marimba in an hour. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to keep doing this. So I did not get uniformed up. So I have not had the experience of wearing this item, but
It was just a thought I had watching this video because everyone's
It does
doing
not
it,
make
and that's
sense.
just the normal way.
So I Googled it, and the top thing that came up was a Reddit post from 16 years ago on Ask Reddit that says, "What the hell's up with marching band chin straps?"
That's my question.
And I'm not going to go through all of that, but I will go through the Google AI results, which I'm sure is just a combination of the results of that
Sure.
Reddit post.
don't assume these bobs are summarizing things correctly.
Marching band chin straps often feel like they do not fit properly, usually appearing too short or awkwardly placed due to a combination of design, tradition, and functional adjustments during performance. The main reasons they don't fit: it's designed for for under the lip. Many chin straps are designed to rest on the lower lip or just below it rather than under the chin. This style is often adapted a sharper look to mimic historical military styles or to allow easier verbal communications to each other during performances. Top-heavy hats, they're often top-heavy and sit high on the head. The strap placed under the chin might not provide enough leverage to keep the hat securely in place, causing it to fall off or tilt backwards. That seems outrageous. I don't agree with that breakdown
This is
at
what
all.
There's no way
bobby pins will solve.
There's no way under the chin is less secure. How can that be true?
New chin straps, especially leather ones, are often stiff and do not conform to the chin immediately, making them feel too small or rigid.
No, this is old-timey tradition. I think that was the you
That's what I
said that.
think it
It's
comes
got to
down
just
to.
be that. It's got to
My
just be
first
that.
reaction was going to be blame the British.
Yeah,
We can blame the British. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. That sounds good.
Yeah, the only thing that I can actually buy is the, if you're having to yell verbal commands at each other, not having the chin strap might make that easier. But it's
there's
all
only
very
one
impractical.
person talking.
Yeah.
The drum major's the only one that talks. Everyone else has
Yeah.
to fall in line.
And they don't really have to worry about their hat falling off as much as everybody
No, they're
else.
just standing on a podium with a baton.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, if anyone listening to this is familiar with marching bands or maybe just the military, I don't actually know. I would love to know more about this subject because now I'm captivated by weird chin strap placements. That's my takeaway from sports song, I think. And then the only other thing to shout out from the video we didn't mention is in the marching band in the video, hidden amongst the actual students, Steve J and Bermuda Schwartz are mixed in there.
Yep.
And I also noticed on the IMDb there is someone credited Ian J, who maybe is one of Steve's kids.
Maybe.
He's listed in the credits, Ian J and Steve J. I just assume that has to be not a coincidence. Most of them are not credited, but it looks like maybe Steve J's kid got involved in this, so that's pretty cool.
All right, well, I'm placing this. I was bouncing between one specific spot. You compared this to Weasel Stomping Day. I'm putting it just above Weasel Stomping Day. and just underneath I Was Only Kidding. But I just want to call out above I Was Only Kidding, I have another song that I think is also sort of comparable in a weird way, was the Brain song from the Al's Brain 3D experience.
Kind of like the educational element of it.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, this all kind of connects in a strange way. But how about you, Matt? Where are you placing this song?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also looking at Weasel Stomping Day, and funny enough, I have the Brain song very close to that as well. Do I like this better than Weasel Stomping Day? This is the question.
Ooh.
I don't know. I do really, again, this is like, I find this song very, very fun. I actually think it sits on this record in a beautiful place. Like, I really love these little like novel swings that Al takes on these different things, and
you
like
need
this
something
feels
to
so
break
unique.
it up.
Absolutely,
it's a good placement. If this was like track 2 or like the track right before the finale, it would feel
You wouldn't have a
really
sense of the
awkward.
album yet, but I think this one signals to you that he's just like, I'm Weird Al. Okay.
Yes,
I said I was going to get weird.
It's in the name, guys. I'm going to put it. You know what? I'm going to put it just one spot below Weasel Stomping Day. So I'm going to do Weasels. It's going to be in between Weasel Stomping and Callin' in Sick.
Okay.
On my list of originals.
Very nice.
Now, looking at the music videos, I do think I'm still going to rank this video higher than I was originally intending, but still not that much. I'm going to bring this kind of in the dead center and put it underneath Living with a Hernia, but above your horoscope for today. I would still probably rather watch the
Matt,
sports.
That's my list.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I keep doing that today.
How dare you, Matt Kelly?
How dare me? Well, I still stand by the general vibe of what I was trying to say, which is I want to put this underneath Living with a Hernia. So I'm putting it under Living with a Hernia, but above Spy Hard.
That worked out great because I'm not always looking at the list the same time as Matt Kelly, but I just watched it move on my. I'm looking at my list going, where am I going to put this? And all of a sudden I see it drop into place. I'm like, wait a second.
But maybe I nailed it. Maybe that's exactly where you're going to put it.
That actually is maybe kind of close.
You did the homework for him.
You did.
Because I do think it's better than most of the animated videos. There is a visual spectacle that is in this video that the animated videos lacked a little bit. But I also don't think it's better than some of the classic like 80s and 90s videos.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with that. All right,
This
I'm
one
going to
is
put
memorable.
It is. It is very memorable. I agree. I'm going to put it just below Living with a Hernia, and just above your horoscope for today.
Wow, that was a really original
But listen
idea
to me,
there.
guys. Listen to me. That has nothing to do with Matt Kelly. What happened here? I don't want any this. My stats have been tainted in some way. That's a sports thing, right? There's not going to be an asterisk next to this. Like it was a compromised play. No,
Blink
that was my
twice if
original
you're
idea.
Okay.
That was my original idea, and it doesn't matter what Matt said. I wasn't even listening anyway.
Now, I have been told to make this reference, so I will.
Uh-oh.
Kelly, I've presented the guest rankings to you. Now, as is tradition, listeners may not know this, but when it comes time to the guest ranking, there is this giant screen that the guest is able to look at that has the list, and it's very functional. We can kind of play around and move things. So I always put their song at the bottom of the list. And I just want to remind Kelly that Sports Song is right now at the bottom of the list. Underneath, Girls Just Want to Have Lunch, which managed to be in the top 5 songs from Dare to Be Stupid because you wouldn't use one of your veto cards. So
Oh, I was not the reason that anything. If we all recall that I was the first person to select songs, and I tried to put it where it belongs, at the bottom.
I tried to tell you guys last week, we were just talking about how after all these months when our episode came out and we just restarted the group chat about this, and we're both looking back fondly and also still trauma dumping on each other for what happened at San Diego Comic Con 2025.
Numerous people named Dave and Ethan and Jeff that you can thank for its ranking on the Dare to Be Stupid list.
to be fair, Jeff just keeps saying, Kelly, let this happen. That's his stance on it.
I chose chaos.
That's true. All right. Well, where do you want to place Sports Song on this absolutely psychotic guest rankings list?
The number of sighs that came out of my body when I was looking at the guest ranking list that you sent to me, we all deserve a day of prison.
Agreed.
I think I would like to place it somewhat in the middle. It's oh boy, you don't have the numbers on here. Okay, wait, you're kind of in the ballpark. I would like to place it below Don't Download This Song and above Achy Breaky Song.
Okay, I think I have to go a little bit lower on this. But there we go.
There it
All
is.
right.
I would have
like
put
that.
it. Yeah, I was like, I think Don't Download This Song is superior.
Yep.
And Achy Breaky Song, I had to look to see if there was anything below it that made me mad. And I think I'm okay.
There you go.
There it goes.
All right. Now you get to move. You get to be a real chaos agent.
Oh, go to the top. Go to the top.
Okay. Already up there. What are we changing?
Party in the CIA. This is a crime. We're moving it back down to the exact same place. We're gonna put it. I haven't decided yet if it's above or below Sports Song. Let's put it above. So to whatever fellow chaos agent put that at the top, I've put it above this song that I put 3 exclamation points that I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah, it was MC Frontalot was a big fan of that. And funny enough, then he moved up Don't Wear Those Shoes, which I believe you were the guest on that episode, weren't you?
I think that was my first one, right?
That was your very first episode all those years
Yeah.
ago. Remember how young we were? That was so crazy.
Way back when. Well, and I think the reason was because he has covered that song on like a Weird Al
he
tribute
did a
album.
cover of that song on a
All right,
compilation.
I'll allow that.
Yeah.
I'll allow that. I also am here for the randomness of Don't Wear Those Shoes being in the top 5.
I really love that song. I think that's a very underrated Al track. I mean, maybe it's not number 3.
It's a very well composed original.
It is,
you
yeah.
know?
I do want to give a very quick shout out to Zebron, who I think all of us know.
Yes.
But literally just the other day, from when we were recording this, he posted a punk cover of Don't Wear Those Shoes. And I commented on the first comment. I should have just commented
really lend
first.
Itself. Yeah.
Well, I commented and said, this sounds like a Vandal song. And I never really thought about how much, if you just speed up songs by the Kinks, that it would sound like a Vandals song. But it truly did. So go check out I think it's Control Z is what he posts on the internet as.
All right.
But not spelled out like the keyboard Control Z. So like CTRL Z. Kelly, this episode is coming out just before April Fool's Day. But we're no fool. We want you to promote all the cool stuff that you've got going on before we wrap it up. So what can people look forward to, or where can they keep in touch with you to find out what cool things you have on the horizon?
Yeah, I'll leave you all in suspense about what's going on. Maybe because I don't know what's going on. But you can find out if you follow me on social media, wherever, at Kelly P Comics or at my website, kellyphillips.net. I will surely be doing some comics shows later this fall. And perhaps we'll all return to San Diego Comic-Con this summer if the stars align.
That's the hope. That's the dream.
But yeah, I've got things in the works, and I will also have a comic in the book My Pal Weird Al that I believe will come out at some point, maybe this year, being organized by the great Jeff McClelland.
Love that. Love that. Well, Matt, we kind of talked about it multiple times on this episode. Next week, we're talking about word crimes. And we got a first-time guest coming on for Word Crimes, which I'm very excited about.
That's going to be great. Can't wait. Thank you, Kelly, as always.
Thanks, guys. Go Phils!
You saw the game-winning play once, but have to replay it 3 times on the way back to the hotel. Because some moments don't end at the buzzer. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Book direct and save at bestwestern.com.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you. Visit Blinds.com now for up to 45% off site-wide, plus a professional measure at no cost. Rules and restrictions apply.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.